A Da Vinci Life.
Now, when you do your speed laps, like I saw when you did your jump in Vegas,
Yeah.
what goes through your mind there? What are you preparing for? Are you listening to the bike, you feeling it, or is it more mental, or both?
No, so I'm running out. Initially, when I start doing it, I run past the ramp and I'm focusing on the ramp and I'm focusing on the landing, and I'm trying to feel that gut feeling to tell me when I have the right speed or not. So, you can use a physicist to tell you, like, all right, at this angle, at this speed, you're going to jump this far.
Right.
It's not always accurate because it doesn't take into account the losses. It's just calculating like a ball in a vacuum, essentially. So once you add all the losses, it's not really super accurate. I have had an evolving equation, so it kind of gives you the base number of what would happen in a perfect scenario, and then as you jump further and further, it records that, and it kind of it tweaks the algorithm, so it kind of starts calculating more to what's happening in real time. But essentially, like when I do the run-ins, I'm just gauging the distance and that I have enough speed. And then once I get to a certain distance, then I'm trying to I do more run-ins just to make sure I have got the right speed. Because what I'll do is I'll turn around at a certain point, and that'll be marked where I turn around, I'll mark it. Usually just with my back tire, do a little burnout so I know where my mark is. Right. And then, nothing too scientific or professional here. But then,
it works.
It works. Then I take off, and then I'm going all the way to the perfect curve of my rev range and doing a perfect gear change. So I'm not letting the revs die off. It's like always just a building rev curve. And so I go up to the revs until I get into the top gear. And so if you do that wrong or right, that initial run up, it can be 10 mile an hour difference at the end compared to a good one and a bad one. And that could be your life and death. So it's really critical. That's why I do it so many times, is to make sure I've got the shifting points perfect. And then holding on to my speed. And then we usually know what speed I need to hit, so that I have my buddy there, the radar gun, and I'll come back and I'm like, and we're like, yeah, you would have made it that time, or we'll be like, no, you would have died that time. So we just do that till we get three like you would have made it in a row, and then I go. And then once I jump that distance, then I'll jump that distance and usually land in the sweet spot, and then I'll go a little bit further back, I'll go back another 15 to 20 feet further back and do a run up the same. And then just knowing that a good run up from the shorter distance would land me in the sweet spot, I'll take a bit of a longer run in, and then that should send me a bit further down the landing. And once I land further down the landing, and I try to overshoot it by 20 to 30 feet. And then I know, all right, now I'm doing it that run in from this distance. Now I can move my ramp back, and I know that I'll be safe.
Right.
And then again, once the ramp comes back, then I'll do the test runs to make sure I have got that right exit speed. And we just kind of keep moving it back like that.
A Da Vinci Life.